Hello everyone, it's Lauren, and if you are new here, I am diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and I was diagnosed at a time when it was poorly understood. My first diagnosis was called pervasive developmental disorder, and when Asperger's syndrome came into the diagnostic criteria, I was given that diagnosis in the spring of 1994. The topic of this video is constructive criticism. Now, for me, one of my biggies for myself in the way of potential triggers for meltdowns has always been my interpretations of constructive criticism and the way people have communicated it to me. And if ever I feel irritable after someone gives me constructive criticism, they've always told me that I was not willing to listen or to do better. But in reality, that's not the case. When this happens, I feel overwhelmed. Now, there has been times where people would say stuff to me and I was unaware that they would want anything with me because they didn't communicate it clear enough to me. And in cases like this, people just assume that I was ignoring them or wasn't listening. And I've seen this happen even with my own family at times. I was often given tasks that felt frustrating to me, and it ended up in meltdowns, especially if I didn't understand it. And a good example of this one would be doing homework and me getting frustrated about the assignment and just not feeling like completing it because I got so frustrated and upset and ended up having a meltdown. And if my family would try to help me with it, I would just sometimes want to give up because I was so frustrated and was in such severe meltdown mode. So I have a tendency to feel overwhelmed when I'm forced to do something that I hate, or if I feel like I genuinely can't accomplish anything. So in cases like this, I often feel defensive and look as though I don't want to listen. I feel stressed out, anxious, tired, and so on. Because when you're on the autism spectrum, you face a lot of constructive criticism more than a normal person would. And trust me, all of that constructive criticism can be exhausting. What makes it all exhausting is because I was in therapy for years to try to be normal and had all kinds of skills as part of my therapy to be normal. And it really, to this day, it's still very exhausting to me. In all these scenarios, I've been seen as defensive and unwilling to listen and thinking that I know so much, when in reality, it's just because I'm tired of so much. I go through a lot with my autism, and I feel so worried and anxious that it's difficult for me to process things. Based on my experiences of constructive criticism, I feel like it should be handled different with autistics than normal people, and I feel like you should use constructive criticism that's tailored to each person's needs because no two people with autism are alike. So here's just some general tips on constructive criticism based on my experiences. Number 1, offer help when needed, but don't push it. Number 2, say something like, would you like me to show you something? If you're willing to teach a skill to the child. 3, if they didn't complete a task the way you wanted, don't just assume that they didn't listen, or don't be pushy or respond negatively ever. Because if you respond negatively or get pushy, this can cause them to get defensive and have a meltdown. Number 4, some skills do take a lot of effort for autistics. And in cases like this, what you should do is explain stuff in ways that they can understand, take time out to appreciate their talents, and compliment and high-five them frequently. Number 5, be a good listener. In conclusion to today's talk, effective communication for constructive criticism in autistic people means practicing patience, kindness, and dealing with it in ways that they can understand. Thank you. Bye.